Hey, hello, everybody. Hey, welcome to our weekly show. We call it Three Broke Guys Handicapping. It's where we review one of the top racing cards from around the United States. We will select a four-race sequence from that track and attempt to come to a consensus on a pick four ticket. Thank you for joining us. It's week number 10 of the 2018 racing season, and we are, well, you know what? We're just going to stay right where we were last week. And let's face it, if you had a choice of where you could be in February, wouldn't Hollandale Beach in Florida be right at the top of your list? Especially if you spend the day at Gulfstream Park on a magnificent stakes-packed card. It's Fountain of Youth Stakes Day, and the Pick 4 starts in race 11. It ends in race number 14. There are three stakes races in the late Pick 4 on Saturday. There are multi-race exotics all over the place on that card. So, my name is Rich Sharp, and each week I'm going to be joined by my friends and racing analysts. And this week I've actually only got one of them. He is our East Coast handicapper. He's up first. And folks, he's suffering from a painful foot injury, but refuses to go on the disabled list, and he's going to join us from his home in Staten Island, New York. Ray Torado, how does plantar fasciitis impact your handicapping skills?
No, not at all. It actually lets me sit down and handicap some more. But it reminds me of Marcus Camby. You had it one time for the Knicks.
Absolutely. Shaquille O'Neal
Yeah.
used to suffer for that for years in the Lakers.
Yeah.
All right. All right.
Not a scratch.
We would be remiss if we did not mention our late scratch. So
Yeah.
the third broke guy is normally Joe English, and Joe cannot join us tonight. As I said, he was a late scratch. He was actually going into the gate right there, and he couldn't get settled down. So, you know what? I had a trivia question all queued up for us for tonight. I was anxious to hear Joe's thoughts on this, but you know, Ray, I'm still anxious to hear who you think about this one. It is the first Saturday in March, and of course, March is famous for its madness. But you know what? It's time to get down to business and find out who our handicappers like heading out into the first weekend in May. Since we don't have Joe, I'm going to give you my thoughts on that as well. But Ray, you're going to go first. Who's your early Derby horse here? And I guess we're really early in the Derby season stuff.
Yeah, because as you can see, a couple of the big boys haven't started running yet. So I'm very anxious to see the two, both Oro and also Good Magic run. See how they transform into three. And I mean, I saw Chad Brown had an interview. He says that Good Magic looks strong and put on some pound, and he's ready for tomorrow and for the Triple Crown Trail. But right now, I don't know. There's a horse out there that you and I saw at the British Cup, and we had him, and he was a little short that day, and he got good speed. Solomini. I like him. He looks like he's progressing, and let's see how he turns around in the Triple Crown, trail. And he'll be running probably the next few weeks anyway. But Solomini I like, and I'm also intrigued to see Good Magic too. He looks like a good horse. For Chad Brown to put him in the Champagne as a maiden, he won second in that race, and then he got us 11-1 on British Cup Day, which we didn't have him. Knocked us out a few bets there. So he made a believer be, and let's see how he progresses.
And there's and I'm going to tack onto that because there's one other horse in the Chad Brown barn. Ironically enough, Chad Brown's so famous for being good on turf, and now here we are talking about his dirt horses. And so Good Magic being the first one. I also like Mask, and I'm anxious to see what he could do. I haven't had a chance to see him since he came out and had an outstanding victory early in the season.
I know I haven't seen him work out, so I'm very curious about him because I have a future bet on him.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I haven't seen him in the workout, so I'm not sure what's going on. I heard that in the news, so.
So Mask would be my second horse, and on top, I like you've got Solomini. That's a Bob Baffert horse. I like the other Bob Baffert horse, Mackenzie, and that's the horse that everybody out here on the West Coast is anxious to see. So those are my two Derby horses that I'll give to you, and maybe next week we'll catch up with Joe English. And we'll find out who his Derby horses were. So.
Yes, yeah, Joe. We miss you, and look forward to your thoughts.
All right. Last week was Gulfstream Park, and we bet one of the largest pick fours we've wagered to date. We got knocked out in leg one, and we managed to only convert 50% of our picks in that pick four. We most certainly did not have our stuff together. So.
It was tough.
Yeah, it was a tough one. Time for a brief weather update from Hollandale Beach, Florida. The forecast for Saturday calls for, well, as always, it's Florida. It's mostly sunny. The high is 78 degrees. There's winds, light and variable. Most important I'm seeing here is 0% chance of rain. A total of 14 races, 4 stakes on tap for Saturday. For today, we are focused on the pick 4. It begins in race number 11 and concludes in race 14. Ray, the gates are locked and loaded. The outriders are clear, and the starter is ready to pop the gate It's pick four post time.
Okay, we're off.
All right, race 11. Approximate post time is 4:31 p.m. Eastern Time. It's a mile and a 16th on the main track. Maiden special weight affair. Purse is $60,000. That includes $7,000 from the Florida Owners Awards because apparently it pays to be a Florida bred as well. For maiden 3-year-olds, 11 starters, and your morning line favorite starts from post number 1, Personal Time, trained by Shug McGahee, some people call him Claude, and ridden by Joel Rosario, 9 to 5 on the Gulfstream Park morning line. You know what, folks? I love this track. I didn't get to get any history because last week I was in the analyst position. So just a little history. Gulfstream Park opened on Wednesday, April 1st, 1939. They actually conducted a 4-day meeting. The initial meeting had a crowd of 18,000 people. In 1944, the track was reopened by James Dawn, as in the Dawn Handicap, for a 20-day meeting in December. The Gulfstream Park Handicap was first run in 1946, and the Florida Derby began in 1952. In that year, the clubhouse was built and the grandstand seating was expanded. Gulfstream Park introduced our favorite turf racing for the first time in 1959. Ray, you are batting leadoff. Who do you like in the opener at Gulfstream?
This is tough. It's like when we saw the PPs, we're like, "Are you kidding me?" A maiden race and the open leg of a pick four. You got like 1,000 stake races in the day. Well, you know what? They want to challenge people, so that's what they want to do. So we got 11 of them, and there's this is a very intriguing race. We have some horses who've run. Um, there's two key races here that I was going to point at, later on. But my top pick is a horse that run a couple times at Gulfstream. Number 9, Traveling Midas. Brian Lynch, Javier Castellano. They're putting blinkers on. They paid $200,000 for this horse, and he got involved last time in a very wicked speed. Though you see, those fractions are legit. 23, 45, 109.
Oh, yeah.
And he held on for third. So uh, I believe there is a 1 turn mile. And, a fraction like that can be very taxing for a horse. And as you can see, plus 14, plus 19 at the calls. And, he held on for third. So, I mean, I give him credit. He ran well, very well. And, another horse that I like also is number 6, Rare Form. He raced last year in Churchill. And on the turf, he had the lead. And had good had the lead top of stretch, and it looks like he could go a distance. Mile and 8 he went already, so he's coming back. It's a 3-year-old, and Alvarado, Del Romans here. He had some action. He got he was almost 4-1. He stalked this weekend, so I'll give him a chance here. He's been working out okay at Gulfstream, so let's see how he does. Do like number 1. I'm kind of spreading here because these races I'm trying. I mean, I get the favorite, but trying to beat him with a few horses here. Number 1, Personal Time. He's our favorite. McGahee. McGahee's second time Lasix here. Joe Rosario. This is his third race off the layoff, so he was also involved in those heavy fractions. He was in the back, and he closed late, so he benefited from those fractions. Second time Lasix, and he should do better going 2 turns here. Actually, no, it's just still a 1 turn. No, is it? No, it is.
This is this
Yeah,
this is this is
yeah,
the
2
two.
turns. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Then we got number 2, Country Squire. Top Pletcher going back to his stable jockey there, John Velasquez. I think why he did this, I'll tell you why. Because this horse looks like he has some good speed. He went mile 16 last time. Kind of tracked the pace a little bit. He takes charge. He's in the Fountain of Youth and entered the 20-1. So let's see how he come out of that race. But second race off the layoff here for Pletcher. Paul Pompa Jr. Unfortunately, they lost. Send it in last week. That was an unfortunate mishap.
Oh God.
I did speak to Jerry. He told me that just horse just took a bad step and it happens, and they were beat up because he was gonna be a good sire and stuff, and they actually bred the horse themselves. So our
Oh.
condolences to them. So no. But this horse could turn around. I like Giant Vasquez on him because I think he's gonna show more speed and you know, could on this track, as you can see, like we go from the back page sometimes. What is it? 62% speed bias winners, EP types. So his horse might benefit from the track, get inside post. So watch him at 5-1. And also like number 8, Numero 13, trying to throw in a long shot here, Louis Size, riding well.
Mhm.
He was also involved in that race, January 27th, at Blistering Fractions. And, you know, it says up close early, rebid too wide. So if this horse riding again, said second time out, or second time during the race, and, he probably passed a few tired horses, but he might have had something. And at 15-1, I'll take a chance with that too, to throw him in. Because he was involved in that race. That's a key race for me. So I'll go 9-6-1-2-8 in this leg here, trying to spread it and maybe pop a long shot. Rich, what do you think about this race? And did you like the favorite?
I did a little. So you've got my horses covered, and I'll let the audience know that speaking up for Mr. English, who is not here tonight, I will let you know that he gave us his 3 picks a little bit earlier tonight via text, and I believe if I'm going in order, if he went the correct way, and I think he did, I think he actually's got Pletcher Velasquez on top there. So I think he's got that horse, the 2 on top. He covered the favorite, the 1 personal time with the flashy speed number on there, and then he also has the horse that you liked as well, the Dale Romans horse, the 6 horse, with Bobby Alvarado aboard. Who has some nice pacers. I thought the race was very difficult. It was the subject of a very funny text exchange from us when we saw how the schedule was out there with the maiden race there to start it off, and I was cracking up to myself like that. I chose to go a little bit of a different way. I've been going deep a lot lately in these first races to kick it off and like that. So I only went too deep myself here. I did start off, and as you see here, Ray, I'm on the same horse you are. The check mark is on the 9. Traveling Midas. You got to love the fact that you're switching from Nick Juarez to that man named Javier Castellano. It was 11 horses in that last race, and he was right up on a very, very hot pace there at Gulfstream Park. I saw it, so I'm playing Gulfstream a lot these days, and like that. So I saw the race. And Nick Juarez is actually a very good gate jockey. So it was a good race, and he checked out based on some hot fractions. To me, it doesn't look like, at least to the eye test, it doesn't look like we've got the potential there. Now, maybe Rare Form does have that kind of speed. He did do it on the turf the last time, so I left him off based on the fact that he did it on the turf the last time. So you guys have seen me do this before. I took 1 from the front and 1 from the back. So I've got Traveling Midas as my top pick, and I wanted to try and get past the favorite here, Personal Time, Shug McGahee, Joe Rosario. But that was a solid race that last time. Based on Gulfstream Park, he's in the 1 hole, so it's not going to affect him as far as the 500th mile in the 16th race. So I only went 1-9 here. Again, Joe's gone 2-1-6, and Ray's got 9-6-1-2-8. And I don't disagree with any of those horses that Ray has because after the 9 and the 1, actually I like the 8 the best out of those horses, but I had the 2 and the 6 as well on my card. It's just that it's a tough sequence down here. So I will go ahead and come on back, and we will go ahead and move along to race number 10. We'll get the stakes races going here, folks. All right. This is race number 12. As I said, we're getting the stakes races going here. They're going 6.5 furlongs on the main track. It's the Gulfstream Park Sprint Stakes. It's a grade 3. Purse is $100,000 for 4-year-olds and upward. 11 starters, and your morning line favorite starts from post number 3. It's Favorable Outcome, trained by Chad Brown and ridden by Javier Castellano. 9-5 on the Gulfstream Park morning. I'm sorry. I believe that's 5-2 on the Gulfstream Park morning line. Inaugurated as the Gulfstream Park Sprint Championship from 2003 to 2009, the race was run as the Richter Scale handicap in honor of Grade 1 winner Richter Scale. I didn't know that, actually, before I read that.
Nice horse.
Yeah, he was. He was a great horse. I thought it was very good. This race was run at 6.5 furlongs in 2015 and 2016 as well. So, I tried to save the stakes races for Joe, but since he ditched out on us, Ray, why don't you go ahead and get us started here in the Gulfstream Park Sprint Stakes?
All right, 6.5 furlongs. It's this race. I don't know. I see a few horses here have some good class, and but like um I was looking at one of some another podcast and said it's probably more like a good like a high level lounge race here. But there's one horse here who looks legit, and that's definitely number 6 favorable outcome. He ran well in the Malibu out there in Santa Anita. You know, Santa Anita is always notorious for these sprint races, and they come out with some good horses and throughout the years. And for him to go out there and perform well, you know, I think he's gonna do well in this race. 3-1, you know, he's a solid choice there. He's gonna be my number one pick, and I like him. Chad Brown, this is gonna be one of our rules, right? Don't
Yeah,
leave Chad Brown out.
can't leave him out anymore. Problem with
Whatever
Chad
horse he
Brown is,
has, he's in.
yeah, the problem with Chad being at Gulfstream is that he runs so many darn
You want so
horses
many
and so
horses,
many
yeah.
races. Yeah.
You can have your own sequence with Chad Brown. But yeah, this horse, coming up to Malibu, rest him a few months. He's been working well at Palmetto, so you know he'll be my choice. I do like number 2, Eight Town. He looks like he's nice little sprinter there. He won 3 in a row in lesser competition. You know, ran him in the Hooper. Probably a mile's too much for him. Ran off a layoff. So there's 2 negatives right there. You know, Ty Macho's a good horse too. So and Conquest Big E. So he ran against some good milers. Cutting back in distance. Second race off the layoff. Jose Ortiz jumps on. You know, I see that show check mark there. So we're in agreement there. So I was kind of slim in this race. 6-2 for me. I do want to mention number 7, holding back Bear. He's got some back class. Coming off a long layoff. No, usually in sprints for me. I don't consider layoffs too much of a hindrance. They could come back sprinting well. They just have to go a short distance, and they come back fresh. He's got a slight chance, but for me, the way my ticket's being built, I'm just gonna go 6-2. Rich,
Yeah, I have a feeling that we're very similar tickets there. I might be able to, because I only went too deep in that first leg on my individual ticket. I might be able to squeeze one more horse in here. As you caught, my check mark is already on the 2 horse. So I like Eight Town. I like Brian Lynch, Jose Ortiz. Not a great combination together. They're 0 for 3 so far. But you see, Brian Lynch has got very, very solid statistics. Not necessarily the most solid meet so far. He's only hit at 12%, so 5 for 41 just so far at the championship meet. But grade stakes, route to sprints. This is his style. Yeah, it wasn't a long layoff. We're big on forgiveness here. Ray already mentioned you seeing Congress Big E and Tommy Macho in the Fred Hooper, the grade 3 that he was in that last time. Prior to that, Eight Towns had won 3 in a row for Brian Lynch, and the speed figures all fit. And you're getting Jose Ortiz, rapidly becoming my favorite jockey in the country, if not already there, probably. I did like the 6 favorable outcome. Um, you know, Chad Brown, Javier Castellano. There you go. You got 39% together with those two. For those of you who are wondering, as far as handicapping the back page first, this is a pretty obvious one. 76% of the time here at Gulfstream Park, you get the
yeah.
speed type. So the fact of the matter is, just get to the lead. And as far as the entry and for what the trainers were all thinking, yeah, everybody knew what they were doing on this far. So no secret what was going to happen on this one. The one horse that I did add, besides the 6, which is obviously the favorite, which is at 3-1. I'm sorry, I called it a 5-2. I thought that Classic Rock might be worth another shot here. This is that old 3BGA angle. We don't talk about that as much anymore, and let that moving up in class from the last start. Has a flashy speed figure from that last start, and that was off a 6-month layoff. So the horse had shown some talent early on, had won 3 in a row, tried the Woody Stevens, got his head kicked in, which, happens a lot when you try the Woody Stevens, and tried the carry back there at Gulfstream Park, which is a grade 3 all the way back in July, and then hit the shelf for 6 months, came back with Luis Saez aboard. And it's noteworthy to note that Luis Saez ends up on this horse. He had a couple of other options that he could have ended up on in this race, and he stuck with this horse. Wasn't a real quick race that last time. and only 5 starters, and obviously a short price favorite. But Kathy Ritvo is a very, very good trainer. Louis Saiz is the leading rider here at the Gulfstream meet. And so I thought that I might be able to get away with adding a third one in there. And I went 2, 6, because those are my top two. And then my third one would be the 4. Joe and Ray actually have got variations of the exact same thing. Joe, he actually went 2-6, and Ray went 6-2. So I'm going to go ahead and come on back, and we will move along to our next stakes race.
That's the exacta box.
Yeah, there we go. The exacta box. Race number 13. They are going a mile and 3/8 on the turf. This is the Mac Diarmida Stakes. Grade 2 purse is $200,000 for 4-year-olds and upward. 12 starters, and your morning line favorite at 7-2 is in post number 1. It's our old friend. It's Sadler's Joy, trained by Thomas Albertrani, ridden by Julian Leparoux. Mac Diarmida made 2 starts at age 2 without a win. However, at age 3, he had a championship year, winning 12 of his 14 starts, including 10 in a row on the grass.
Wow.
Mac Diarmida was voted 1978 Eclipse Award for American Champion Male Turf Horse. Ray, you're going to get the marathon today. Who's going to survive the Mac Diarmida Stakes?
It's wide open. When you get favorite 7-2, just to start off, you know, it's 12 horses. I'm going 5 deep just to let you know. But I'll start with number 1, Salas Joy, the rail. Coming off the breed, we saw this horse at the Breeders' Cup also finished 4th. I think we had him. I know we didn't have Talis Bannock.
We didn't have Talis Bannock, unfortunately.
We had Beast Patrol Highland Wheel, but tear him up that day. But Salas Joy first last year, a very solid horse, got a couple wins and saw Dancer. Pat Malcolm. But we've been following this horse for a while. Let's see how he progresses at 5 years old. Usually these tough horses, they get better and better as age goes on. Hard knocking horse, 6 out of 8 in the money last year. He likes to go a little longer, mile and a half. Mile and 3 is just enough to distance for him. So coming to the layoff, he may not be fully cranked up, but class alone, he should get a good trip, and he should be in the race. I do like number 9, Nessie. Little long shot here, Castellano, Ian Wilkes. Charles definitely going to improve second race of layoff. He did run in the McKnight, run second to Oscar nominated, who's in post 12, so right there he picks up an advantage in the post positions. This horse, he's grade 3 types, so this is his class, grade 2, grade 3. He comes from the back, and he'll benefit for a little bit. He'll benefit from some speed. He does like Gulfstream, 3 for 3 in the money. Hasn't won yet, so this might be his breakout party, coming out party, like I say. I do like number 7, Bernay, a Chad Brown acquisition here from France. He's notorious for doing it. They pick up horses for no seeds, bring them here, and they just kick butt. Yeah, I tell you. He won second off a 3 or 2.5 year layoff in a claiming race. Someone, okay, fine. The class is not there for that claiming race, but still, he won second. So Chad Brown had him ready. Second time out now. He should be ready for this race. His horse could run forever. Looks like his breeding is right there. So watch out for Chad Brown. Tyler Gaffalone. He's like we mentioned last week, one of the top jockeys there, and definitely making his his name over there. I do like number 8, Patterson Cross, Billy Mott, coming off a layoff over 11 months. But I'm not too worried about that because Billy Mott's an excellent trainer. He gets them ready. He's better with the older horses. Like if you have like a first time show and stuff, Billy Mott gets him a little slow, to progresses as a young horse. But as an older horse, he gets them ready. He's pretty good at that. And as you can see, last year he for the second in the same race to Wake Forest, and then he came back to Pan American. and finished third. So this horse has some class. And 8-1, Scano, Mont, good combination, 18%. So they should run well. Be coming from the back too. Then number 12, Askanami. I threw Askanami in. I'm not too thrilled about the post. I think I read a report that the 9 to 12 post is like something like 0 for 28, something like that. But 0 for, basically. So, if he breaks the streak, he'll break the streak. But he's a good horse. We handicapped him last year. And he probably wants to go a little longer. But I can enjoy. Get the Ramses there. We like those trainers, Ramses. And he won last year Gulfstream. He does, yeah. No, he won this year. I'm sorry, the McKnight.
Yeah, he took the McKnight.
Yeah, he took the McKnight off the
And
layoff.
I don't
So,
think, and I don't think the post will affect him too much. This is actually
oh
a
yeah,
three.
okay.
This is a 3-turn race.
Oh, okay.
This
Oh,
is
right.
that
Yeah.
weird configure Gulf stream like that. So I
Right.
don't think
So,
I don't think that'll bother him at all.
okay. So maybe those stats had some long shots. It's horses that just didn't belong
Well, yeah,
there.
and that
That
mile,
happens. Okay. So,
and it could have been a reflection of the mile and a 16th distance as
right.
well.
Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
I noticed they don't run this distance doesn't come up a lot. It says here that they've only run it once so far at this
Yeah.
meet. I
Once.
think they've run. I want to say that they've run it more than that. For some reason,
Mhm.
I doubt this number right here, but
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
it's pretty obvious they don't do it a lot. Let's just agree that.
Hmm. Yeah. 3 turns. Wow. That's a long one. So, I mean, I do it, man. Number 12. So we're gonna go here. 1, 9, 7, 8, and 12. So we got 5 out of 12 here. So, Rich, I see you get the same
Yeah, I've got a
spread
lot of.
there. Lost,
I got
yeah.
I've got one more to add for you. Though, unfortunately, I'll let you know that Joe actually beat me to it here. It looks like Joe has gone with the horse that I'm just dying to hear PL call his name. His name is Muktaser.
I'm to tell you.
Yeah, for Kieran Laughlin and Shadwell Stables. So Joe went. I'll let you guys know that Joe went 4-8-7 with his 3 picks in this race, and as you see, Joe beat me to my check mark there. So I like Muktaser here. I'm not the biggest Jersey Joe Bravo fan, but he is a very good rider. Uh,
Mhm.
you've got Kieran McLaughlin. Great trainer. All of his numbers show up here. As you see there at the distance, Muktaser is 2 for 2. He's never raced at Gulfstream Park before, but he's been at all the big ones. So he's been at Saratoga. He finished a half length behind Oscar nominated at the Kentucky Turf Cup at Kentucky Downs earlier this year. He was in the Knickerbocker up at Belmont. So he's faced some of the better horses in this marathon class before, and he's been right there, and he's got a couple of wins. If you look down there on the page and like that. So
Mhm.
I took a shot here, 4-1 on the morning line. Hopefully I'll get that. And
Mhm.
that was my top pick for this race. Ray, I was like you. I think that this race had some potential to open up. And I think I couldn't ignore Sadler's Joy. For those of you who are watching and who pick up on this one, there's a whole group of horses who are in this race who face each other quite a bit. So Sadler's Joy and
Yeah.
Patterson Cross, Oscar nominated, they've all been Booktasser. They've all been right at this same level, and they're all within a couple of lengths of each other. It shouldn't surprise you if one of them wins the race. If you don't have them on your ticket, I apologize for that.
Mhm.
So here's Sadler's Joy with Thomas Albertrani and Julian Leparoux. So I thought he was worthy of being on the ticket. Again, he's just like Patterson's Cross, and Muktaser and Oscar nominated. And I believe on my top line I also used, if I'm not mistaken, the 12 Oscar nominated. So I thought because of the 3 turns, because I didn't think the post was going to hurt him so much, and he has been solid at this level. Even though he is kind of stranded out there for that going into that first turn, he's got Jose Ortiz aboard. I've already told you, rapidly becoming my favorite jockey in America. Um, he's just been on his game for about the last 6 or 7 months since going back to May of 2017. 5-year-old by Kitten's Joy again. The Ramses on a big day. You heard Ray bring that out. So
Mhm.
I have the 4, the 1, and the 12 on my top line. If I have more room, I brought in the 8 as well. I thought that 8 was a worthy shot, the Patterson Cross, and I wouldn't have any argument with anybody who puts a Chad Brown on turf in the race. So I went 4-1-12. Joe went 4-8-7 in absentee, and Ray is at 1-9-7-8-12.
Yep.
And I will go ahead and come on back, and we are going to head on into the feature. On Saturday at Gulfstream Park. It is race number 14. They are going a mile and a 16th on the main track. It is the Express Bet Fountain of Youth Stakes. It's a grade two purse, $400,000 for 3-year-olds and up. And I apologize, I forgot to look up the Derby points for this race. Ray, do you know about off the top of your head? I know there are.
Derby points.
I believe there are Derby points that are associated for this race, and I just can't remember who it is.
I'm not sure. It might be. It could be 10 or 20. Some significant. Yeah. Um.
I
Let's see.
apologize.
Yeah. Keep it. I'll look it up. I'll try. Let's see.
All right, and I apologize for that, folks. I usually do have the Derby points, but I know that. So it is a mile and a 16th. It is the Express Bet Fountain of Youth Stakes. It's a grade two. The purse is $400,000. It's for 3-year-olds and up. Oh, excuse me, for 3-year-olds only. Your morning line favorite in post number 6, trained by Chad Brown. Good Magic is 7-5. Wow, 7-5 on the Gulfstream Park morning line. I will tell you that this race was named for the mythical Florida spring that granted eternal youth. It was sought by Spanish explorer Ponce de Leon, who searched throughout the southeastern United States for it, but never found the fountain. There have been 4 colts. They were named Tim Tam, Cowie King, Spectacular Bid, and Thunder Gulch that have won this race and gone on to become dual classic winners. The first 3 won the Kentucky Derby, and the last one, excuse me, the Kentucky Derby and the Preakness, and the last one won the Derby and the Belmont Stakes. So, Ray, you know what? Again, Joe's out of here. You're up on the feature in the finale. Who do you like here?
All right. Just to mention, 50 points for the winner.
Oh, thank you.
20, 10, and 5.
There we
So
go.
this is significant.
Yeah, it's a big one.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know, my top choice here would be Good Magic. He's definitely the class of the race. 2-year-old champion. He did something that very few horses do. He won a British Cup off a maiden.
Breaking his maiden.
Breaking his maiden, okay?
Yeah.
And let me tell you, we were there and the breeze just passed us as he as he went by because he was moving. He ran well. I mean, his champagne was well. First fire got him, but you know the the British Cup was a good race. Good race for him. If he comes back, these workouts in Palm Meadows, no joke. 48-1, minute and two. So he's, like Chad Brown said, I saw a little interview with him. He's gotten bigger, stronger, and he's looking forward for him to run. And the distance, he's got no distance limitations, off curling. And, let's see what happens. He doesn't have to win, but it would help, to solidify his 3-year-old campaign, get the Florida Derby coming up after this. So just run well, get a good race into him. 7-5, he'd be an out ticket. Another horse I like is number 8, Marconi. Strange horse for me, Pletcher, running an aqueduct over there in the doldrums of the wintertime. Don't look at the times. The times are, very, very slow. The track there, we have here 20, 30 degrees November, December, and it gets cold. 154, you can get a sundial to run these races. But the speed figures look pretty good. He won by 6. He won 3 times a mile and 8. Some horses haven't even gone a mile and 8. So he's got the stamina. They paid $2 million for him, and second race off a layoff, so he might be cranked up in this race. He gets some good workouts too. Palm Beach Downs, 48-2. Those training tracks are deep. Just to let you know. And for these times to be coming up, they've been, you can probably translate this to a Gulfstream workout of like 47, a Santanita 47, 46 here. So these are pretty fast workouts. So these horses are ready. Number 2, Free Drop Billy. I'm a little on the fence with him. He's like a B pick for me. He did race in the Holy Bull. He got dusted by Audible, who ran a big race. But he did hang in there for second. Didn't beat much behind him, so I don't give this race much. I don't give that race much value. Audible, for some reason, didn't come back for this race. I don't know where he's going next. So maybe skipping for this race for the Florida Derby. But he come in second, so he ran well. But I think those the top two I mentioned could do very well. And I don't see anything else in this race. These lot of horses here are trying to get started. You got Strike Power. Number first one, mention these horses just to let you guys know. I handicapped this race pretty good. And Strike Power for me, I saw the swell and didn't look like he want to change leads at all. And he looks like he just wants to go one turn sprinter. If he stretches out, I see you got a check mark there. But for me, if he stretches out, he'd be very dangerous. If size could get him to relax and pounce the top of the stretch, he's gonna be in the race. So I'm very interested in seeing that. Um, he won't be on my ticket, but if I have room, I would like to include him also, just to see how he runs. I always like sprinters stretching out to see how they run,
Yeah.
and to see because they're very dangerous. Sprinters who stretch out, we've seen it back in the old days, and they just take off and they're up by five and nobody catches them, and game over. So like, I'm very interested in this horse. He intrigues me. This is a very curious face for me. You got the old pros, good magic, the Grade One winner. See if he's cranked up for this. If he's not, then a few other horses have a good chance, like Strike Power and Marconi, and probably Free Drop Bully. So, Rich, I'd like to see your analyze of this race. What do you think
Yeah,
about the?
I'm up in the air on Marconi. You can see there, I saw the $2 million trap it. Todd Pletcher, Javier Castellano, and I'm confused. The mile and eighth distance up north I just wasn't sure if I was going to go after good magic or not in this race.
Mm,
I have a feeling, Ray, believe it or not, even though my check mark shows otherwise, I have a feeling that tomorrow on my ticket, I lean towards going deep in the races that lead up to this and then singling good magic.
mm,
I, you know, just off of what I've heard from Chad Brown,
yeah,
Jose Ortiz. I highlighted the two horses that he beat, and he didn't just beat them; he dusted them, Solomini
yeah,
and
he beat them
Boltioro.
good.
And those were two of the three or four best horses that we had on the West Coast here at that time. He had no problem beating them on their track here at Del Mar. I was pretty impressed by that. So if I was going to take a chance, and you caught the angle right at the last second when you said, the sprinter stretching out, and the fact that Luis Saez had so many options in this race. You'll see that I highlighted his name down here on Storm Runner, which is a
Mm,
Dale Romans horse. He rides for Dale Romans a whole lot. And then also, he was on Free Drop Billy the last time as well.
mm,
And Free Drop Billy, I think, was the second choice
yeah.
behind Audible that day. So it appears to me that Luis Saez, he had options. I did see the swale, and I know what you're talking about, the fact that he didn't change leads and like that. And again, sometimes I like to see those sprinters stretching out. So I
Mm,
thought that maybe he had a chance to upset the apple cart here. But again, I have a feeling I've got a strong leaning towards singling the six and trying to go deeper in the Mac Diarmida, going deeper in the Gulfstream Sprint Stakes, and if I need to, even in that tough maiden race earlier, and just singling good magic. I did like what you guys had as far as the like I said, Marconi was hard to ignore. He's a beautiful horse. So. And in case anybody's wondering, our ghost handicapper for tonight, Joe actually liked the 8 as well. So he's got Marconi as his top pick, and he backed it up with the favorite. So he's 8-6, Rich is 4-6, and Ray is 6-8-2. Yeah, go ahead and come on back. And I'll go ahead and drop our template up there, and we'll get through this.
No, just 6-8 for me, Rich.
Oh, just 6-8 for you? Okay.
Yeah, it's a B pick. Yeah,
Okay.
and
Fantastic.
that Withers, that mile at Withers, that's the first time they run at that distance. The Withers used to be a mile, so
It was okay.
they changed it up. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're trying to get more horses, but they got five.
All right. I'll go ahead and pop this up for you guys so you can see as we do our work here. Yeah, that's the advantage of playing Gulfstream as often as I do now, and kind of watching the races and everything else.
Yeah, yeah,
A lot of the
it's
handicap, yeah, a lot of the handicapping is like, oh yeah, I remember that race.
right. Yeah, yeah.
All right. those who are wondering, if you're watching as I go through this, the blue, I'll change the colors up here, but on the top line is these are race picks that are going in on top. And in a second here, I will fill in our ghost player for this evening. Mr. English is still out there. Hopefully, he gets a chance to watch tonight's broadcast.
Yeah, I want to find a picture of that day in the paddock. I got a picture of Good Magic.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah,
Some
show
busy
you
victory
guys.
day because we were there Breeders' Cup Day.
We were
Getting our
there.
heart,
Yeah,
yeah,
a
getting our
great
hearts going out.
weekend.
As he came around. That was a very good race, though. He had an impressive performance that day. And all right, and
There is.
4-6.
There's Good Magic.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm on my template, so I can't see anything. I'm flying
Oh,
blind.
okay. All right.
I'm flying blind for the moment here. So
Mm.
okay, so Ray goes in red.
This is always an exciting time. This time of year, you want to always looking for those big horses and the Triple Crown.
Oh yeah, yeah. This is
The American Fowl did it, and always hope that these horses make another run at it. Make the
oh
Preakness exciting, the Belmont exciting. The
yeah,
country gets juiced up a lot of times with this. The media, it's all over the news.
yeah.
The Triple Crown.
I will be honest with you. This is the first time in my horse playing days that I've actually looked at this from a East Coast centric view and things like that, where I've played probably a little bit more on the East Coast this
Right.
year
Yeah. Yeah.
than
Uh
I
huh.
have played on the West and things like that. So not that
Mm.
I don't play Sanities a lot, so
Yeah. Yeah.
I still know my ponies better. But all right, let's see. In this first race, I know you and I both had the 9 on top. I think we have the 1 covered as well. Yeah, Joe's got the 1 covered, and
Mm.
I think the 2 is in there as well. I think you guys have both got the 2. You know what? You guys have both got the 6 and in there as well.
I believe there's a big pick six carryover too tomorrow.
At,
Gulfstream.
at
Some
Gulfstream
two something million, huh?
in the rainbow.
Yeah, the Rainbow Pick Six, like 2 million something. Like wow, huh. Might be worth playing that.
One. I think you guys both have the 8 and the 7 that I saw. And I had the 4 with who? Oh, Joe. Okay, and then the final leg, it is 6-8. Let's see. You know what? Let's just do 6-8 in the last leg.
Hmm.
All right, 4 times 4 is 16. So that's a $32 one.
32, yeah.
Yeah. So if we put this 4 in, how did I leave it? 4 times 4 is 16. 3 is 4. So it'd be 48, yeah. So leave it at 32. This should be reversed. I should have this way. The 6 is really my top pick. All right. So we've got in the first leg we would have 9, 1, 2, 6. You know what? Let's see. How about if we put in the 8 as well here, Ray? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then times 4 is 20. So this would be $8 more, be 40.
4, yeah, 5. Yep.
And that gives us the coverage in the maiden
Mm.
race. 1874 and then 68. Yeah. Does that seem right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Cause I kind of like the 8 that you had here in this first race. I remember that was I remember that it was on my line as well. All right.
Now to add the 4 would be another what, 20?
Sit
I
back
hate
down.
to see him go wide to wide and kill us. At least if he waits and takes over top of stretch and your horse ain't ready.
Yeah, how many?
Oh, I'll tell you.
Yeah, so that'd be 20 more though. That puts up to
Play
60.
him on.
Uh,
Hmm. That's
Again,
interesting.
and like I said, I'm probably I know what you're saying because I
Yeah.
yeah if I look at my numbers down here, I'm not too far off. I can actually use him. 3 times 3 is
Mhm.
9, so that puts me at
Yeah.
18 on my individual ticket. So I could use the 4 there, but $20 more. Um,
Mm.
Again, we could actually leave the 8 out up here if we wanted to. We could go $8 more, but that's
Yeah.
exposing us in that first leg.
Yeah. That's a tough race.
Yeah,
But
I was feeling strong. At
no,
one point I was thinking of singling good magic. So
yeah, we can leave it like that.
okay,
We try to coverage with the 8 too.
all right.
Six
Yeah,
and eight.
exactly. We need the again we needed the coverage in the
Yeah.
maiden race. It looked like we've got some
Hmm.
uncertainty here, and then the turf race. Oh no, we
Right.
left.
Yeah.
Did we leave the 12 out in the turf race? Look at that. We left Oxford
Oh,
out.
the
Oh, I'm
12.
sorry.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, my eyes are failing me. So let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is 50.
Hmm.
Gets like this every week.
Yeah.
Let's see, 4, 8, 7. So you guys both have the 8 to
Right.
7. Me and you both have the 12, Oscar
Hmm.
nominated, and 4 and 1. Me and Joe both have the 4 as our top pick, and you and I both have the 1.
Right. Yeah.
All right, so those 5 are all clear.
That looks good.
All right, go that way. Okay, so we're going to 9, 1, 2, 6, 8 with 2, 6 with 1, 8, 7, 4, 12 with 6, 8.
Hmm.
And we'll run this by Mr. English tomorrow. Make sure we get our little text confirmation.
Yeah.
And
We'll also mention to him about the
yeah,
possible the 4. Let's just see if we get the
and always we got to check our scratches for tomorrow. Let me
take the
come on.
scratches too. Because last week, what? No, was
It
it?
was, yeah. These last couple of weeks, Todd Pletcher's had some bad run at
We
the gate.
we lost the favorite and a 35-1 horse right up the rail, inched us.
Ah.
It's tough to be out in Lake One, Like, yeah, what do I do now? Pick three, double.
All right, all right. Well,
All
thank
right.
you for those of you who hung in there with us a little bit later on a Friday evening. We appreciate that. And for those of you who are watching, if you enjoyed the show, well, we'll be back next week because that's what the Three Broke Guys do.
Mhm.
We will get together to take a look at another exciting card. It is one of my favorite weekends of the entire racing year. It's Big Cap at Santa
Oh,
Anita.
nice.
Ray, I love it. It's a stakes pack day. I'm hoping that me and Joe get to go together.
That'd be nice. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, that's all the time we've got for tonight. It's always a pleasure to handicap with you, buddy.
Yes, it is. Always a pleasure. We miss Joe.
Yeah, we do. For Joe English and Ray Torado, I'm Rich Sharp. Thank you for watching Three Broke Guys Handicapping. Good luck and good night.
Good night.